What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Branded Dude here. New replay. We are going up against Chimera Fusion. So pure Chimera, no Fiendsmith, just purely Chimera. And we are playing 56 card branded. So yeah, let's see how we do here. Opponent is going first and we open Serenia, Rebellion, High Spirits, Red and Deployment. Serenia is our only hand trap. Will it do a lot of difference? Make a lot of difference? Most probably not. But with Bestial Serenia, we definitely want to banish the Diabols, the original Sin Keeper, you know, the one that forces you to set your spells and traps. We definitely don't want that on the field because we do play quite a number of quick play spells. Our opponent opens Nibiru, Gazelle, Cornfield, Sword Knights, and Imperms, yeah? So he has his starters and 2 hand traps. So yeah, he's going full combo. Normal summon Gazelle, search for Chimera Fusion, as well as, oh, not just that, Chimera Fusion. Send Sword Knights and Gazelle to go into Baphomet. Goes into this just to Foolish Burial, but on reds it's going to be Gazelle 1, Baphomet 2, search for Nightmare Apprentice, and he's going to dump Master Tau. Master Tau will trigger to summon Sword Knight, and then Chimera Fusion to add itself back to hand. He's then going to go summon the Apprentice, discarding Cornfield, which will get him a search. Diabols, the original Sin Keeper. Yep, this is what we sort of want to banish if we can. Then goes overlays into Lars, Sword Knight, summon Big Wing to search for Gazelle as well as Chimera Fusion. So I'm going to go Chimera Fusion, going to the Chimera, King of Phantom Beast, the hand rip in the end phase. Chainlink 1, Baphomet, Chainlink 2 Chimera, chain blocking there, summon Sword Knight. He accidentally discarded the Imperm, so yeah, now we know he has an Imperm. Set the Chimera Fusion, which we know because he searched for it, and now we also know the Imperm. So he's going to hand rip us. Chimera, Sword Knight will be a monster negate. This is a target protection, but it doesn't really matter. He has laws, just this can negate twice, right? Yeah, can negate. No, it's only going to negate one because he doesn't have dinosaurs as just materials, and he has Nibiru. This could be an interruption if he manages to summon it onto our field. I don't know the Chimera combos, so yeah, that's the interruptions we have. So end phase he's gonna rip a card, and he ends up ripping the Fusion Deployment. Cool. We draw for turn. Quem. Draw phase opponent is gonna go Sword Knight, summon Baphomet. Now the reason why he's doing this is just to add more 1 follow up and 2 more fusion materials to his hand. Main phase, so here we decide to go first with Bestial Rebellion, searching for Magnemite because we already have Serenia in hand. Then we go High Spirits, hoping this does resolve because this way we get access to Brand of Fusion. Send Titanly Clad, Serenia will send the Retribution, doesn't get negated. We then go Shrouded here. Now here I was deciding, you know what, if we send Albaz, and we can normal summon Quem, that's an Imperm. Then we have Branded Red has a target in the graveyard, but I decided, you know what, it's fine. We'll take a chance, so we send Brand of Fusion, join to Fusion Deployment, cool. We already discarded one, but now we have one back in hand. Retribution, add Brand of Fusion. Opponent doesn't use laws on this. I guess it's fair, you know, just use laws directly on Brand of Fusion. Fusion Deployment. Now with this, I was going to summon Cartesia because, you know, we has an Imperm in his hand, unfortunately. So we know that. So we also chain Magnemite, targeting the Sword Knight. So we summon the Cartesia, and then on raise we're going to get Mag Effect to add. No response here, so we summon Bestial Rebellion, trying to set up, you know, Brand Fusion. Does laws negate activation? No, negates its effect. Cool. So I go Bestial Rebellion because one, I know he's playing Chimera, so there's a good chance he's gonna go into Guardian Chimera sometime soon. So I decide, you know what, let's just try force it out, to be honest. So we go Bestial Rebellion, setting up Branded Lost. Opponent here is going to go Chimera Fusion. We chain Cartesia, and luckily that does it Imperm. Totally fine because we haven't even normal summoned yet. Going to Guardian Chimera, chainlink 1 Chimera, chainlink 2 Gazelle, chainlink 3 Big Winged. So here he's going to reborn Master Tau. He's going to search for Nightmare Apprentice. He's going to draw Patrick, and he pops Lost and Rebellion. Cool, that's fine. We finally normal summon. Send Albaz, so we have a target for Branded Red, which we activate. Opponent doesn't use laws here, so this will resolve. So banish Cartesia and Albaz, going to Albion the Branded, and then we're going to Chaos Star Source just to pop cards on his field. I do end up banishing Rebellion, but to be honest, in practice, I think it's better if you have other dark or light dragons to banish. Rather go for that. Leave this engraved because sometimes this being engraved can help just to put this fusion into the graveyard whenever the case appears. So yeah. Moving on, Chaos Star Source. So here I decided to pop Master Tau. Thing is, I forgot originally, like, you know, when want to destroy this, you cannot target this card with monster effects if it has material. So this I couldn't target, so yeah, don't worry. I do here at this point I realize, oh wait, I can't target it, so whatever plays you see now, just ignore it. Yeah, here I tell him, I indicate to my opponent I can't target it, so we end up just popping the Chimera and the Master Towel. But on rares, Master Towel will reborn the Cornfield, which is this card, and this card he cannot add to hand because this apprentice is still in his what's his name, still in underneath as material, so technically doesn't get triggered on summon. Cool. So this is the game state now. Moving on, we enter battle phase because we want to get rid of laws, so Branded Fusion can resolve. Send Albion the Branded. Main phase 2, activate Branded Fusion. Send Albaz and Mercuria going to Rinbrim because we don't have a card to discard. No point going to Rebellion. On res though, Quem here will trigger to reborn Mercuria. Opponent here does end up going chainlink to the Chimera King Phantom Beast to reborn something from grave. We decide to negate this with Rinbrim. Opponent goes chainlink for Baphomet, so he's going to reborn the banished Chimera. Rinbrim, I decide to bounce the Chaos Star Source because that way now we can fusion summon into it again, hopefully during our opponent's turn. And Mercuria will be reborn here, so we have a way to check Nibiru. We go to end phase. I decide to set Brand Banishment. You know, good super poly. Opponent does play fusion, so Dragon's Dupelia can be a thing. We have Quem as well, but yeah, you know, we can super poly his board at least. Titanic Clad, I decide to add Albaz to hand because no point summoning another copy of Quem. I could have actually special summoned Albaz because that's where if Branded Banishment resolves, we could use Albaz, go use a extra deck monster, and then boom, we can just go into Merge. But I didn't do that. I decided, you know, let me just keep a card in hand just to hopefully, you know, card advantage, or not card advantage, just to keep enough cards in hand. And yeah, just showing my opponent what we added. Add Serenity of Magnemite, and we pass turn. Opponent draws into Cobalt, so unfortunately this will deal with Branded Banishment. Main phase, Patchwork, search for Edge Imp and Polymerization. And then he's going to go summon Apprentice, putting this original Diabols in the graveyard, but he does search for Cornfield. Then going to go Cornfield Effecture, where he's going to add, yeah, he attempts to add. I decide to Mercury negate this. Opponent doesn't use Koba yet. Chimera Fusion, add itself to hand. Go Polymerization, to which we're going to change Banishment. Here I was most probably going to summon, yeah, definitely going to summon Albion and use Apprentice and Chimera to go into Dragon's Dupelia, but unfortunately opponent does have the Kobai to negate this, so yeah, I decide not to use Serenia here. I think, yeah, we don't use Serenia here. That gets Banishment, doesn't resolve. Goes into Guardian Chimera, and now here unfortunately it's going to be Chainlink 1 Chimera, Chainlink 2 Edge Imp, and Chainlink 3 will be Quem. We can't negate Chimera with Rinbrim because it was chain blocked, but with Quem we're going to target Albaz because Chimera is going to pop one card on the field, so opponent is going to be forced to pop the Albaz here. So he adds Patchwork and draws into Veiler and Super Poly, pops the Chimera, enters battle phase, just attacks for some damage here. I'm not sure, opponent, he didn't use yeah, I guess he didn't want to use Super Poly because he knew we had Serenia in hand, so even if he fusions away our board, we take whatever damage. Then if this can summon itself to reduce this, I guess, this damage, we will do that. So yeah, he doesn't use Super Poly yet, rather decides to save it. But on a declare of Apprentice, we go Serenia, banish the Diabols. Now you can't get over that. He doesn't use Super Poly still whatsoever. Sets the Chimera Fusion, activates Chimera Fusion, goes into the Baphomet, the Mythical King. Effecture will Foolish Burial, send a Sword Knight, sets the Super Poly and passes turn. In his end phase though, we go High Spirits to add itself to hand. We are also going to go Rinbrim, trying to force out Mirror Sword Knight because so far he only has, yeah, only one copy there. So summon Albaz, Effecture, we discard the Albaz. So yeah, I guess here was not a good idea. I should have just discarded High Spirits, to be honest. But I was also contemplating, what if I draw into, like, let's see, is it banished? Yeah. What if I draw into another good target for High Spirits? Then we may as well get a search of that. So I decided, yeah, just get rid of Albaz. But Sword Knight is going to negate Albaz here. So we pass turn and boom, we draw into Super Poly, which is pretty good. In draw phase, passing priority, opponent activates Chimera to reborn the Nightmare Apprentice. Apprentice here will search for Sword Knight. And now here we are going to go Super Poly in draw phase still, going to Mirror Jade. Using Chimera, we don't bother using this because if this enters the grave, he can use its graveyard effect. Draw phase still, we are going to go Mirror Jade, banish the fusion. And then we have no plays, we can't get over this because this cannot be destroyed battle. So we pass turn, end phase, I'll be on set Branded Banishment because we already ran through our Branded in red and Branded Banishment. Did we? Okay, Branded in white is the last one, but you know, we decided to set this up. High spreads will add itself to hand. Opponent draws 4 loss, main phase activates Patchwork, where he's going to add Poly and Edge Imp. Then here I think he goes, okay, normal summon Sword Knight, Synchro into Chaos Angel to banish Mirror Jade, triggering Mirror Jade's effect. Battle phase, attack, deal 1000 damage here. Serenia here will trigger, so we send high opening, you know, just for that pop protection. End phase, Mirror Jade will resolve, so Chaos Angel does get destroyed. And we draw for turn, we draw Mercuria. But in draw phase, I decide, you know what, we have 2 Albaz in grave, Branded Whites is still something we can use, so we go Branded Opening in the draw phase, and luckily we did because our opponent does have Veiler. Yeah, no Imperm, so we got lucky here with Luba resolving, searching for Branded in white. Main phase, activate Branded in white, so here we banish Albaz and Mercuria, going to Lubellion. Chainlink 1 Lubellion, then Chainlink 2 will be Mercuria. Opponent does have Veiler to deal with the Lubellion, so no fusion summon for us, but we are going to add Cartesia to hand here. Yeah, no point adding Kit, no point adding Albion to Shrouded either, because nothing good to send off Shrouded. And Cartesia, hopefully with that we can fusion summon into, you know, Grand Gogno, get something off of that. So main phase, still summon Cartesia from hand. Battle phase, I decide to try deal some damage here, but opponent activates Super Poly using Lubellion and Luba to go into Dragos Depelia. Main phase 2, attempt to go to end phase, opponent then goes Dragos Depelia on Cartesia. High Spirits will add itself to hand, and we'll simply pass turn. Yeah, that is pretty much it. So we are not in a good position here. Opponent draws into Imperm, Chimera Fusion. I don't think he can use it because he doesn't have the right materials. Enters battle phase, gets over Cartesia. I guess what I should have done was I should have crashed my Cartesia. That way in the same end phase added to hand, so I have High Spirits and Cartesia in hand. Maybe I should have done that, but yeah. Cartesia goes to grave. Draw for turn. Opponent did set the Imperm. We draw it to Kobai, which I don't set. Yeah, I don't bother to set. Opponent then summons Edge Imp, links off into Muckracker here, discarding to reborn Chaos Angel, and that is plenty of damage on board, 4500, and we just simply end up losing game number 1. Go to game number 2 now. We are going first now, obviously against Chimera. They do search a lot, so I would have sided in draw. You do see here, I did also side in different dimension ground because all his Chimera monsters will trigger when they send to grave. Specifically, send to grave as fusion material. I would have maybe, I would have kept taking out the Mochamis, though, because I wouldn't have enough cards to like really side out properly. I would have left 1 Mochami 4 loss in my deck, just, you know, it's a good high, if you can't use it, at least it's a high spread card target. So we draw into Mercuria, Tragedy, Super Poly, DDG, and Cartesia. Opponent draws Poly, DD Crow, Ash, Big Winged, and Edge Imp. So Ash and DD Crow, yeah, that's pretty scary. Summon Cartesia effect, which resolve Grand Gogno, Tragedy 2. Search for Adler because you're already fusion summoned, and Grand Gogno we send the Grand Gogno we send the Albion the Branded. We don't, I was deciding first to send Garura, but I decided, you know what, we have Super Poly, so let's not send Garura. End phase, opponent doesn't use DD Crow yet because he does have the Ash Blossom to check it. So he's just going to use Ash on Branded, Albion the Branded, and Cartesia just to add itself to hand. And yeah, DD Crow can deal with Branded Red and Brand Banishment as well. So opponent draws 4 loss, which activates in draw phase. Cool, no response. Activates Poly, to which we are going to chain DDG, and honestly that's not going to trigger any of his cards. No, nothing's going to get him searches, so yeah, he ends up scooping there. So DDG just honestly helped us win game number 2 pretty quick. Game number 3 now, opponent is going first, and we open Poly, Shrouded, 4 loss, yeah, pretty good, and Poly as well, Thrust, and Callby. This is a pretty nice hand, yeah. Opponent opens Draw, Big Wind, Chimera, Sword Knight, and Imperm. Now you may be thinking, oh, we have 4 loss, opponent has Draw. You need to remember Chimera, they search a lot, so Draw is also going to affect my opponent, so he's most probably only going to save it for our turn. Normal summon Sword Knight effect, to which we are going to chain the 4 loss. No Ashes, we are going to get a draw. Summons the Gazelle, and here we draw into Fusion Deployment. Gazelle effect here will search for Chimera Fusion. activate Chimera Fusion, so he's still going to fusion summon, go into Chimera Defensive Beast, draw into Mercuria, on res, chainlink 1 Gazelle, chainlink 2 Big Winged, and chainlink 3 the Phantom to hand rip, summon Sword Knight from grave, and then here he will get a search. I think he searches for Cornfield, yeah, searches for Cornfield, and then Chimera Fusion to add itself to hand, set the Chimera first, Cornfield first, search for Sword Knight, and then he's going to set Imperm, set Chimera Fusion, and set the other copy, and then he will go to end phase, hand rip us here. He ends up ripping the thrust, which is a bit sad, but yeah, it is what it is. Draw for turn, we draw a Bestial Rebellion. In draw phase, opponent does go Sword Knight, and to this I decide, you know what, nah, we'll call bind this. Sure, should have been a bit afraid maybe if this one card was Ash Blossom, but I decided, you know what, this, we're negating this because he wants to summon, I think he's going to summon which one, either Big Winged or, yeah, or he could summon Gazelle, whichever one of these two. He's going to add a monster to hand, which gives him plenty of material, so I decided, you know what, no, get rid of Monster Negate, get rid of that search as well. So I kind of took a chance there, but I decided, you know what, we have Fusion Deployment, we have Super Poly, it's worth it, it's fine, we're still going to bring out Merjade. So we use Bestial Rebellion, searching for Serenia, and unfortunately opponent does hit us with draw, but I'm going to show you how draw doesn't affect Branded whatsoever here. Well, actually it can hurt if our hand is bad, but in this situation it's not going to. So we go deployment, summon Albaz, and then here I decide I wanted to force out a back row, so we decide to go Albaz effect, discarding Serenia, and this is good because now we at least will be able to put Serenia and Shrouded into the graveyard just to get our access to Branded Fusion. Opponent goes Imperm, chainlink 2, so which we go Super Poly, discarding Shrouded, so we're going to fusion summon into the Merjade. On res, Serenia will trigger, opponent does go chainlink 2 the Phantom Beast, Phantom Beast to summon Big Winged. So yeah, still gonna get that search for more materials and I guess follow up. Send Retribution, Big Winged will trigger, search for Gazelle and Chimera Fusion. Then go Albion the Shrouded, sending Branded Fusion. Oh yeah, also yeah, draw was a thing here. So yeah, luckily we picked up on that. So opponent can't search. Moving on, Albion send Branded Fusion. So yeah, we still get access to Branded Fusion under draw. And yeah, we're gonna add Branded Fusion to hand here. Yeah, that was a that was a misclick there. We then go straight for Branded Fusion. Yeah, Branded Fusion here. We're gonna send Albaz and Cartesia. Going to Albion. Albion here, I decide to go straight for Merjade. I mean, not Merjade, Chaos Star Source to pop his back row just to deal with it. Opponent goes channeling to Chimera. We go chaining through Merjade, trying to get rid of this material. And opponent then triggers the last Chimera Fusion. So this is still going to resolve, but this ends up being banished here. So yeah, it was a bit unfortunate. I think my opponent, he shouldn't have done it, but he may as well because he needs to put a body on his field. But on resolution, Big Winged Baphomet, if this card is sent to grave, he can reborn an illusion monster. To this, because we have 8,000 damage on the field, I decide nope, we are using Mercuria on that effect, keeping the board clear so that we can deal total 8,000 damage. And yeah, opponent ends up conceding this duel and we end up winning against Chimera Beast. And yeah, we just show him that Branded is the best fusion deck and honestly the better fusion deck. So yeah, that was a crazy duel for me. So I was just a bit worried, like oh crap, Chimera, they can play quite a bit of hand traps, and the interruptions is crazy. The fact that you get a free hand rip well, not free, but you get a hand rip, and they can play a lot of hand traps as well. But yeah, luckily we do end up winning this. And yeah, that was the duel, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.